Hi friends, welcome to Pointers with Tshego. My name is Tshego and thank you so much for joining me and actually viewing this video. To my community, I really do appreciate each and every one of you subscribing, hitting the notification bell to be notified about a new video and the content that I would be creating, or the content that I create. And those who are new, please stay on and stay tuned, live, like and subscribe. This video is going to be focusing on branding. Yes, branding. This video is actually inspired by a video that I did in which it was called Spring Has Sprung, and it was talking about the 5 R's of spring, in which I happened to mention reestablishing and then slash rebranding, and I spoke a little bit about what is rebranding there, but in a short definition form, right? And I thought to myself, if we're talking about rebranding, it is also best to speak about branding, right? Because if you are rebranding, you need to have a brand first, isn't it? And I know, when people speak about branding, it's like this, a click phrase. I'm a brand. People are defined as brands and so forth, but I'm not specifically referring to branding for people who are in business or people who are in social media platforms, but I'm speaking about branding in a holistic approach. I'm speaking about branding for that particular individual who's got a 9 to 5, who goes to work. It can also be relevant to people who are still at school. So I'm actually looking at, it's a general approach in terms of what is branding, and not necessarily sidelining it or only limiting it to those who are in the influencer community and on social media, or those who are talking about business. But a brand as an individual, your own personal branding. So let's just define what is branding. Okay, so as always, I always have a notepad in which I'll dodge down my ideas and the content that I would like to refer to, so that I stay focused. So let's go to my notepad, and refer and actually look up, dig into, dive rather into the definition of branding. So what is personal branding, right? Personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning themselves as an authority in their industry, elevating their credibility, and differentiating themselves from the competition to ultimately advance their career, increase their circle of influence, and have a larger impact. I know maybe some of you might say, okay, influencing public perception, but you see, unfortunately, as an individual, we cannot help what people think of us, and the only best representation of ourselves to people to actually tell our own story, right? Or people always often create their own perceptions, but that's also twofold, because of people can decide, even if they've known your story, they've read your story, or they know about your story, whether what they want to decide or what they think of you. But the only thing that you can do for yourself personally is actually create your own representation, and not let people guess who you are or what you're capable of, right? So personal branding, in a way, is an effort to communicate and present your value to the world. Okay, so each and every one of us are important, and we hold value in the world, right? So, but you must represent that value. You must what you represent, or actually make your contribution of value. You know what I mean? So creating a personal brand can be a daunting task. I mean, like, it's never been easy. Actually, if we think of some of the big brands like your Oprah Winfrey, I'm sure Oprah Winfrey, before she became a global brand herself, she had stumbled over ideas and thoughts, and actually sometimes maybe perhaps represented herself in trying to attain or in trying to solidify what she wants to be known for or remembered for. Or when somebody think of opera, they can think of maybe the old magazine or the old channel. Remember, she used to have her own old channel at back then in the days when I was still a little bit younger. It used to air on SABC3, and obviously times have changed. I know now she's got her own network channel, but for her, before she got where she was, she had to actually, stumble over a few ideas, mumble sometimes her own ideas, sketch down, cross them out, rethink them again, before she can get where she is now. All right. So now I have 10 pointers. Yes, 10 pointers in which I would like to share with you in terms of a personal brand or personal branding, right? Firstly, build a foundation. So the first step of actually putting yourself out there, representing yourself out there, I believe is actually to build a solid foundation, that you will confidently say, this is me or this is mine, in which you're actually authentic to the core in terms of what is it that you want to lay out there. But you see, you have to give yourself time to do some research. And research can be any form of a general desktop research, researching your interest and how you want to actually channel them down, or actually doing some form of self-reflection in terms of what is it that you want to attain, to achieve, what is it that you want to contribute, and also what kind of value is it that you want to bring forth or want to be known for, right? And you know what, there are misconceptions out there to say that personal branding means crafting a persona or a facade in which is not a true reflection of who you are. Well, believe you me, people actually who has a misrepresentation of themselves, their brands don't really last. Somehow, some way, they do collapse because of, remember, having to build your own brand. It's like a 24/7 job that you intentionally make or take. And if it's not something that is authentic, if it's not something that is the real you, it's not representing who you are, somehow you are going to burn out. And when you burn out, you are going to fall, and you're going to fall hard. And in most cases, once that building has collapsed, nobody can actually bring it up because it's not who you are. So imagine how tiring it is to trying to present something that you're not. So the best thing to do is to remain authentic in your truth, okay? And remember that inauthentic people can actually see inauthentic people. People can see if you're not being your true self, if you're trying to create a facade of something, if you're trying to be somebody that you're not. Well, I know there's a phrase that says you must fake it until you make it, but I think there's a fine line in terms of faking where you want to be or what you want to be one day, to faking your own persona per se, or faking your own personality, trying to be somebody that you're not. No. We're all unique in our own right, and we're all are special in our own right. Remember that always. Now, I'm just going to go through a little bit of inventory that I want you to put under the point number 1, which is the foundation phase, in which for me is the most important phase. Hence, it was a given that I start with that phase. Okay, so please bear with me. So take stock of the following three elements. Firstly, your skills and credentials. What have you acquired throughout your life that can be packaged as part of your brand? Okay, this includes training, this includes certificates or awards, those kind of things. Remember, I in the beginning of the video, I actually referred to you. I actually started by saying that this is not necessarily specific to individuals who are in who are in social media or who want to start a business or anything of that nature. So this is actually open to a 9-to-5 job, a person who is in school and all of that. So your skills, your talents, your trainings, your hours, that's important. Take stock of that. All right. Number 2, under the foundation phase, what is your passion? What is your interest? What industries and topics are you mostly interested in? Which field would you like to grow a career in? And mostly, what are you passionate about? I mean, like, for an example, okay, if a person, if for example, identify myself and say I want to grow in this area, I want to grow in personal development, that is actually a niche that that I've crafted for myself. So I have to put in the work. I have to do, lay the foundation and also try to acquire to acquire maybe perhaps certification, training in this particular area, to say that my focus is this and I'm creating a foundation for myself. So how do I get myself leveled up to be at par in terms of this particular area of personal development that I'm actually interested in? So all of the skills that I've acquired over time are quite important. I need to align, and remember, sometimes also creating or coming up with a niche area, whether it's at work, in which maybe you want to move from administration to strategy. You have to create some of a lineage for yourself. You have to create a lineage for yourself. You have to go the strategic meetings. You have to know the people in that area. Perhaps you can also ask your work environment to take you through training in which maybe there's a strategic course or anything of that nature. And even if it means actually sorry about that, even if it means actually moving from your current department in which you are administrator to the strategy department in which you'll be an administrator in that department, great, because of you creating a lineage for yourself. You're actually saying that I'm really interested in this particular area. Okay, now we're moving on to who you are. What are your core values and beliefs? So that will be element number 3 under the pointer of creating a foundation for your personal branding, right? So what are some of your most important core values? What is it that you hold dear to your heart? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? And what do you stand against? That is very important in crafting a foundation for yourself. All right. And with that, it will assist you to come up with your own vision, your own mission, and also that touch of your own personal brand. What do you identify yourself with? All right. So now we're moving to number 2. Focus. You must have a focus when creating your own personal brand. All right. Okay. So many people out there want to do so many things at the same time, or so many things at once, but that can sometimes mean that it's a disruption to the initial thing, or the initial area that you want to brand or that you want to personally put out there. So please, I spoke about niche area. So come up with a niche area, come up with a focus area, and really focus on that. Put your energies in that particular and growing it. There's no use being a master of everything, okay, a jack of all trades. No. You won't be remembered for that. Or you have to be a specialist in your own right. Okay, please. And also remember that you need to be consistent as you craft your way, craft your niche, craft your focus area. You need to be consistent while doing that, because inconsistency would not assist you to grow this particular brand that you're trying to create out there. And remember, I always say that when we speak about brand, we're not talking about something that abstract. We're talking about you, growing you, okay? Growing you at large, because as I've been reiterating over and over, you are a brand. Always remember that. Be genuine. I spoke about this. Be authentic. Be genuine. Be original. I spoke about it earlier on to say that it will not feel like a job if it's so original. It will feel like, oh, you know, it's an easy peasy thing walking in the park, walking in this particular park. But if you're not genuine, it's gonna feel like it's a drag. It's too much. One day you feel like, yay, let's do this. One day you feel like, eh. Even when growing your own brand, one day you feel like, yeah, we're doing this. We're going. We are within. Yes, we are within. We are thriving. The other day you'll feel like, man, it's not working out. But you'll always remember what is your biggest goal. What is it that you want to put there about yourself? What is it that you want to be known about? And that will motivate you. That will highly motivate you to actually pick yourself up and continue, because you are original. You're being genuine to yourself and to the public out there, and you are original. Please tell a story. This is when I spoke about how your personal brand should be a value, should be you sharing your value to the rest of the world. This is your life story. Create a story of your personal brand. Okay, let it have a thread throughout the things that you want to do with your life, telling a story that will combine different elements in different phases of your life. But we can see, oh my god, now I understand how Tshego is where she is, because when we look back, although the picture was so blurry when it started, when everything started, but we can see that there's a silver lining, there's a thread that is going on there, and now she's where she is because of this. I mean, for crying aloud, a typical example would be when you're at school, when you're at tertiary level, we study different things. I mean, we might study the same thing, but it does not necessarily mean that it is guaranteed that we are going to work in the same area or the same industry or whatever. And unless, it's one of those professionalized qualifications like your medicine and your laws and all of your accounting, but even that, it's not even directly guaranteed that you will work in the same law firm, you will work in the same hospital, or you will actually do your focus, your area of your focus will be the same thing. You know what I mean? But you see, that's where it's an opportunity for you to shine too. So yes, I did economics at school, and then somehow I did not happen to work maybe in a job that is directly looking at economics, but I'm working in health, and then let me craft a niche for myself, health economics. You get what I'm saying? You feel me, community, right? I know you feel me. And also, please, I spoke about this, be consistent. Be consistent. It's very much important. In this way, you will ensure that you are recognized. People will remember you. Oh, let's say, well, are you talking about that girl who likes to wear her red lipsticks? Oh, okay. Are you talking about that girl who likes talking and smiling and laughing throughout her videos? Oh, okay. Okay. But her personality type, is she the kind of person who likes giggling? Is she the kind of person who likes frowning? What is she good at? That she likes motivating people. Oh, okay. When you speak of personal development, are you referring to her? Oh, okay. You get me, you feel me. That's how you get recognition throughout, in terms of actually being consistent. All right. And also, please don't be afraid to fail. Actually, be ready for failure, because failure is there. And especially when establishing yourself and trying to create a world, a path, a recognition for yourself. I know of so many people who failed over time and they still made it. So please don't be afraid to fail. When we fail, we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves, forward we go. All right. We don't do that. I'm like also with the race of relay, regardless who won that particular race, even if there might be 4 teams who will be running a relay. Yes, we start at the same time, at the same point, right? But the most important thing is to finish the course. I'm not going to be looking at the back to say, oh my goodness, team A just won. this particular round of relay or this lap or relay, and then I'm looking back and who's following me at the back. No. Yes, I might have failed this time around, but there are lessons in that failure, and I will train harder the next time around. And you know what? I will win because I'm telling myself that I'm gonna win. And already you are training yourself that you are opening your world to positivity. You're opening your world up for wins. Even when you fail, somehow you do win. You win because you are learning a lesson behind that particular fail. All right, so forward we go. Please also create a positive impact when creating a brand. The last thing that you want is to people to remember you with negativity, to associate you with negativity. So always create a positive impact, which also must be sustainable. You must be able to sustain it throughout time, and it cannot be that when you're creating a personal brand, it must be something of a by the way. I was just testing the waters, test the waters, and actually run with it. You know, that's how you're creating impact. Please, 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 please give, provide, or share your contribution. Have value in what you're doing. That's how when people will remember you with that. um Also, live your brand. Oh, I think this is one of my personal favorite. Live your brand. You cannot say you are this or you focus on this, but your story says something different. When I reach you up, or when I hear about you, it's totally something different. I mean, like your CV says, great facilitator, great motivator, personal development coach, and all of that. But yet again, when you're out there in your physical state, and somebody's asking you, can you please actually motivate these people, or anything of that nature, where a platform is given, even if it's not necessarily a recognized big stage who are, a small group, maybe they will need a particular motivation, and you're like, yo, I'm not interested. Leave your brand. It's supposed to be, it must be there on the tongue. It must be who you are. There must not be a distinction between your brand and Tshego, because I said to say these things should be married. Tshego and the brand is one. It's not brand and Tshego. It's like this. They're in marriage. Please. All right. And also the nice thing about it, you can actually let people tell your story by not even whispering in their ears, but they know, yo, yesterday, you know, we were fortunate to be we were fortunate that our presence was filled by this lady by the name of Tshego. She facilitated the event so well, this and that. That's how we remember that. Therefore, we'll refer her to other people. you know you've done your own marketing, right? But now you're letting other people market yourself. They're talking about you. So that's how you create a brand of yourself. Even at work, people, you must be known for doing something great. Even if there are a lot of people doing that one thing, but they must just know that when there's two who Salt Bay, she does the things. She cooks the pots, this one, with the little that we have. All right. Please, this one, my favorite. Also, leave a legacy. I mean, like, why not? Huh? Why not? Yeah. You're special. You're unique. You are here for this. You were in this world. You were born for a reason. Not to be hidden somewhere. Again, not to be an ornament somewhere on the shelves and all of that. It must leave a legacy. People must know that this one, when she was here, this is the legacy that she contributed. I mean, like, for example, if you're at work and you had one of those meetings, they were talking about health and safety, perhaps maybe the share meetings, and you had to happen to be there, and you're like, guys, you know what? I feel like the posters we're having in terms of our health and safety, they have been long overdue and the colors worn out. I suggest that we put on new ones with high definition colors so that people can see when we talk about health and safety and maybe there's danger here at work, they can easily refer to these posters and just to say, okay, this is how we deal with the situation, and have big arrows that I'll be pointing out to maybe the escape, what do you call this, the escape door, where all people can assemble and all of that. Yeah, they'll remember you that, oh, okay, we see her, we know her. Yeah, this is the girl who did that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really do hope this was very this was welcome with open arms and you enjoyed the video, and each and every pointer that I shared with you hit hard, because we're creating you. I told you that spring has sprung, and we're really working on us here. Ne? We are uprooting forward. We proceed with life. I get life must continue. So with that, I'm going to leave you with a quote in which I love so much by Pia Sivia. And it reads, you want to find the special thing that is you and make your brand all about that. All about that. We're talking about you here. All right. You can't make it up. It has to be real, though it can and probably should be a little exaggerated. Oh, yes, just like my red lipstick today. You want to find that special thing that is you, and make your brand all about that. Make your brand all about you. You can't make it up. It has to be real. It has to be authentic. It has to be you. It has to be your own representation. Though it can and probably should be a little bit exaggerated. Just like my smile. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really did enjoy this video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get more of this kind of content. Till the next video we meet, thank you and stay blessed.